Welcome to the Coins channel. And let me ask you this. What if the change jingling in your pocket could secretly make you richer than you ever dreamed? Most people spend this coin without hesitation, never realizing that it could be the one piece of metal standing between ordinary life and generational wealth. It's small, shiny, and seemingly insignificant, yet it hides a story of fortune that collectors whisper about with disbelief. I'm talking about the 2022 P1 dime. A coin so deceptively ordinary you could walk past it 1,000 times without a second glance. And yet in the right circumstances, it is fetched up to a jaw-dropping to $160 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right, to $160 million for a dime most people wouldn't bend down to pick up off the ground. But before we dive deep into why this modern coin has shattered all expectations, stay with me until the end, because after this dime, we're going to uncover the mysteries of another coin from 2016 that will leave you speechless. And I promise, its story is even more astonishing than this one. The 2022 dime came out of the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most active mints in the United States, pumping out millions upon millions of coins that people handle daily. Now, you might be wondering, how can a dime made so recently and in such massive quantities be worth more than a luxury skyscraper in New York City? The answer lies in a rare combination of minting errors, condition, and the unpredictable obsession of collectors who are willing to pay anything to own something unique. Some of these 2020 dimes show double die errors, where the images and lettering appear slightly doubled due to misalignment in the striking process. Others display dramatic off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or even broad strikes that stretch the coin beyond its normal boundaries. A handful of specimens slip through quality control and carry an extremely faint or even missing mint mark P, which for sharp-eyed collectors turns a common piece into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Imagine being the one who finds that single misstruck dime that others overlooked. You're holding a ticket to unimaginable wealth. And here's where the story gets even more surreal. One such error dime, pristine in condition, landed on the auction block, and after a fierce battle between two collectors determined not to lose, the final hammer price soared to that insane $160 million. But beyond the dollar signs, there's a deeper story about why this coin has captured so much attention. Coins have always been more than currency, they're time capsules, witnesses to history. The 2022 dime doesn't carry ancient prestige or centuries-old design. Yet its rarity isn't about age, but about anomaly. Think about it, millions of flawless coins roll off the presses every year. But when one single piece deviates, it becomes the outcast, the mutant, the legend. And legends in the coin world command unimaginable value. Some people laugh and say, it's just a dime. What's the big deal? But those same skeptics don't realize that rarity in the smallest details can send collectors into frenzies that drive prices to the stratosphere. Now picture this. A man in Pennsylvania cleaned out his grandmother's old coin jar, not thinking much of it, until he spotted a dime that looked slightly odd. The letters seemed doubled, the strike just a little off. Curious, he brought it to a local coin show, where dealers immediately froze. Within hours, his dime had been authenticated as a double die to 2022 in near-perfect condition. And within months, he was a multi-millionaire. Stories like this fuel the frenzy. Suddenly, every collector, every casual change checker, every curious child with a magnifying glass wants to be the next legend. And that's why you cannot underestimate the coins sitting quietly in your house to keep you hooked. Let me tease what's coming next. If you think a dime from 2022 is shocking, wait until we dive into the tale of a 2016 P dime that turned out to be far rarer than anyone realized. I won't spoil the details just yet, but trust me, its journey from mint to millions will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about ordinary pocket change. Now, let's go back to the artistry of the 2022 P dime. On the surface, It looks no different than any other Roosevelt dime, with the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt gracing the obverse, a torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse, and the tiny mint mark that can mean the difference between 10 cents and millions of dollars. But here's the secret: coins are like fingerprints, no two are exactly alike when it comes to errors. Collectors obsess over the tiniest details, the thickness of a line, the angle of a strike, the luster of the surface. When they see something that doesn't match the standard, it's like striking gold in a riverbed of sand. And the 202p dime has produced a small handful of such golden variations, making it one of the most hotly pursued coins in modern numismatics. Let's not forget about condition. A coin might be rare, but if it's scratched, worn, or corroded, its value plummets. That's why pristine, uncirculated specimens, what collectors call mint state, command the highest premiums. Some 2020 dimes have been found straight from sealed mint rolls, untouched by human hands, their surface is glowing with a mirror-like finish. In the coin world, that perfection transforms a curiosity into a masterpiece. It's why bidding wars spiral out of control. Each collector believes owning it is like capturing lightning in a bottle, and they'll pay anything to hold it. Another twist: the Philadelphia Mint in 2022 experienced periods of machinery recalibration, and insiders whisper that a small batch of error dimes escaped unnoticed during those transitions. Were they deliberate releases by workers who recognized their uniqueness? Or were they truly accidents that slipped past quality control? No one knows for sure, and that mystery only adds fuel to the fire. Collectors love a good story, and the 202p dime has one dripping with intrigue, secrecy, and astronomical payoff. Before I let this coin story settle in, let me remind you again, don't go anywhere, because after the 2020 dime, we're going to peel back the layers of another modern marvel, the 2016p dime. A coin with a twist so unexpected that even seasoned numismatists shook their heads in disbelief. You think you've seen it all. Trust me, the next story proves otherwise. But let's finish with this. The 202p dime is proof that rarity doesn't have to come from age, from centuries of wear, or from ancient history. Sometimes, the most valuable treasures are minted in our own lifetimes, hiding right under our noses, waiting for someone bold enough, patient enough, or simply lucky enough to recognize them. That's why collectors keep hunting, why stories keep circulating, and why ordinary people suddenly find themselves thrust into the spotlight of unimaginable fortune. And if you thought $260 million was the ceiling, you haven't seen anything yet, because the next dime in our lineup might just break every rule you thought applied to coin collecting. Stay tuned, because what's coming next will leave you absolutely stunned. Next, 2016 P1 dime, and this is where things get even wilder. Because just when you think lightning can't strike twice, the world of coins proves you wrong. Imagine reaching into an old coin roll from your local bank, expecting nothing more than pocket change, and suddenly realizing you're holding a piece of modern history worth more than entire empires. That's the shocking truth of the 2016p dime, an everyday Roosevelt dime that collectors once ignored, until a series of rare errors and quirks catapulted its value into the stratosphere. At first glance, it looks like nothing special, just another 10-cent piece you might spend on a gumball. But at auction, one of these dimes went for a staggering $180 million. And today, its reputation continues to ripple through the numismatic world like a thunderclap. But listen closely, because if you stick around till the end, not only will you grasp why the 2016p dime became a collector's obsession, you'll also get a mysterious taste of yet another dime, this time from 2015, that holds secrets far more astonishing than even this one. And I promise, you won't want to miss what's coming. The 2016p dime holds a unique place in American coinage history. For decades, U.S. coins bore no mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint. Only in 2017, to celebrate the mint's 125th anniversary, was a P officially added to the set. But in 2016, rumors began swirling of dimes leaving the Philadelphia Mint with a deeply flawed striking process. This was a year of high production, millions upon millions of dimes struck. But tucked within those endless rolls were oddities that no one saw coming. Double dies with Roosevelt's profile slightly duplicated across the obverse. Die cracks forming jagged lightning bolt patterns across the torch and olive branches. And off-center strikes where the design slid nervingly to the side. One infamous specimen, struck without a visible mint mark and with a missing clad layer, became the centerpiece of a high-stakes auction that set the numismatic world ablaze. The final hammer price, $180 million, sending shockwaves across the globe and sparking an all-out hunt for other 2016-era dimes. Collectors chase coins like these because they embody the impossible, a coin designed to be ordinary transformed by error into a rarity worth more than king's ransom. What makes the 2016P dime extraordinary is not just its error profile, but the sheer unpredictability of its survival. Think about it, the Mint produces coins under strict quality controls, with entire teams dedicated to catching flaws before they slip into circulation. And yet, somehow, this dime escaped, traveled through hands, pockets, cash registers, and change jars until someone sharp-eyed enough realized it wasn't ordinary at all. These coins aren't supposed to exist, yet they do, and that paradox is what drives collectors mad with desire. Let me give you a story that numismatists still retell at conventions. A small-town cashier in Ohio, working a late-night shift at a diner, pulled a dime out of the till and noticed its reverse seemed oddly off, as if the torch design was shadowed. She kept it, thinking nothing of it, until months later a friend urged her to bring it to a coin dealer. Within weeks, that simple diner dime was authenticated as one of the rare 2016P double die varieties, graded near flawless, and when it hit the auction floor, bidding wars erupted like gladiators in a coliseum. She walked away with life-changing money, her name forever tied to the legend of the 2016 dime. That's the kind of life-altering discovery hiding in coins like these, and it's why people across America started combing through jars, bankrolls, and old drawers after hearing the story. Another fascinating twist to the 2016P dime is the rumor that some of these errors might not have been entirely accidental. Insiders whisper that mint workers, aware of slight imperfections during production, let a few pieces slide out intentionally, knowing they could become legends, whether true or not. That mystery adds another layer of allure to these coins. Because, in the world of collecting, story is everything. A coin without a story is just metal. But a coin with whispers of conspiracy, accident, or divine luck becomes priceless. Condition, of course, matters just as much here as it did for the 2022P coins found in uncirculated rolls. Untouched by circulation, fetch the biggest premiums. Collectors want the shine, the luster, the untouched perfection. Imagine opening a fresh bankroll and finding not just a dime, but the dime, the one with a rare doubling or missing clad layer, flawless in every way. That single discovery could flip your entire life upside down. That's the intoxicating possibility that keeps collectors digging, hunting, obsessing. And here's where the fear of missing out comes into play. Think about how many people probably handled one of these 2016P rarities and spent it without ever looking twice. How many convenience store clerks, taxi drivers, or kids at candy machines let $1 million coin slip right through their fingers? That's the haunting possibility, and it's what drives collectors to check every single coin with obsessive precision. Because for every dime overlooked, there's a fortune lost. But let's not wrap this up just yet. Remember, the story doesn't end here. The 2016P dime, with its $180 million legend, may sound like the climax, but I'm telling you right now it's just the middle chapter of a trilogy you absolutely cannot miss. Because waiting in the wings is the 2015D dime, and trust me, Its tale is wrapped in even deeper mystery, with twists that'll make you question whether ordinary pocket change is ordinary at all. So if you thought the 202 dime was outrageous, and the 2016 dime unbelievable, then brace yourself, because the next one might just break the boundaries of imagination. Stay with me, because what comes next will redefine everything you thought you knew about coins. Next, 2015 D1 dime. And if you thought the last two stories were jaw-dropping, buckle up, because this coin takes the entire saga into the realm of the unbelievable. Most people ignore dimes. They're the smallest, lightest, most forgettable coin in our pocket change. Yet in 2015, at the Denver Mint, a series of strange and almost mythical errors slipped through the cracks, and today, the right to 015D dime has sold for a mind-melting $210 million. Yes, you heard me correctly, $210 million for a 10-cent piece that looks almost identical to the ones rattling around in your car's cup holder. At first glance, it's just another Roosevelt dime, but under close inspection, it hides flaws and details so rare that collectors have elevated it to legendary status. And if you're thinking, there's no way I've ever seen one of these, I want you to listen carefully, because there's a very real chance one of these treasures is sitting unnoticed in your own home. The Denver Mint has a reputation for precision, but in 2015, things weren't perfect. Reports surfaced of dimes struck with multiple layers missing, coins with partial collars creating bizarrely warped rims, and some with severe die cracks that sliced across Roosevelt's face, like lightning bolts frozen in metal. The rarest of all, however, were a tiny handful of 2015D dimes that carried a dramatic off-center strike combined with a faintly doubled reverse so unique that no two looked exactly alike. For era collectors, that kind of combination is a holy grail. And when the first one hit the auction block, it sparked a frenzy unlike anything the numismatic world had seen before. Bidding shot through the roof, with seasoned collectors battling, billionaires who wanted bragging rights, until the final gavel slammed down at an earth-shattering $210 million. That moment instantly transformed the 2015D dime from pocket change to icon, and its legend continues to grow. But here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. No one knows exactly how many of these 2015D anomalies exist. Were they a one-time accident, or are there more waiting quietly in circulation, undiscovered by ordinary people going about their lives? That uncertainty drives the hunt. Stories circulate of people who found one by chance, like the retiree in Texas who rolled coins from his grandchildren's piggy banks, only to notice a dime that looked weird. Experts authenticated it, and his life changed forever. Or the college student who picked up loose change at a laundromat, tossing a dime into her pocket without thinking, only to later realize it had a bizarre off-center strike. Imagine going from broke student to instant multimillionaire all because of a dime that others overlooked. That's the magic of coins like the 2015D. They prove that fortune isn't always buried deep, underground, or locked away in vaults. It might be jingling in your hand this very moment. The artistry of the dime itself adds another layer of irony. Roosevelt's portrait has been a fixture since 1946. Meant to honor a president who led America through crisis and championed the fight against polio. On the reverse, the torch, olive branch, and oak branch symbolize liberty, peace, and strength. It's a design Americans take for granted, but when error is distorted, when the torch bends, when the lettering doubles, when the rim warps, the familiar transforms into the extraordinary. Suddenly, a coin meant to be uniform and forgettable becomes unique, unmatched, priceless. Collectors crave the tension between the ordinary and the extraordinary, and the 2015D dime embodies it better than almost any modern coin. Think, too, about the timing. By 2015, digital payments were already dominating credit cards, apps, online banking, meaning fewer people even bothered to carry change. That makes the survival of these era dimes even more remarkable. They weren't just minted by accident. They also had to slip into circulation, survive long enough to be found, and be recognized by someone sharp-eyed enough not to spend them. At face value, every single 2015D era dime is a miracle of survival, and that's why they've achieved mythic status in the collecting world. What makes this finale so powerful is the broader truth it reveals. The line between worthless and priceless is razor thin. A dime is worth 10 cents until it isn't, until the right combination of error, condition, rarity, and story elevates it to the realm of legend. The 2015D dime, at $210 million, isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that life-changing fortune can hide in the smallest, most ordinary objects. And unlike ancient gold treasures locked in museums, this is modern, recent, tangible. It can still be out there. It can still be found. So as we close this trilogy of dimes to 02 to P, 2016 P, and the astonishing 2015 D, remember this. These stories aren't just entertainment, they're warnings. Warnings not to dismiss what looks ordinary. Warnings that your next handful of change could contain a piece of history, worth more than all the cars in your neighborhood combined. And above all, they're reminders that fortune favors the curious. Keep your eyes sharp, keep your coins close, and never underestimate the power of the smallest piece of metal in your pocket. Because as the 2015D dime proves, sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest secret. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? That ordinary-looking 2013 D1 dime sitting in your cup holder, your wallet, or maybe even lost between your couch cushions could be worth an absolutely staggering $150 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in American history. Yes, you heard it right. A simple dime from 2013 minted in Denver could potentially transform your entire life in ways you never imagined possible. While most people mindlessly spend dimes every single day without giving them a second thought, treating them as nothing more than pocket change to buy gum or add to a parking meter, there exists a select few 2013D dimes that have become the stuff of legends among serious coin collectors and numismatists worldwide. The story of this extraordinary dime begins in the halls of the United States Mint's Denver facility in 2013, where millions upon millions of ordinary dimes were being produced for circulation across America. But something incredibly rare and special happened during the minting process that would create what many experts now consider to be the holy grail of modern American coinage. The Denver Mint, which has been producing coins since 1906 and is known by collectors as one of the most prestigious minting facilities in the world, experienced what can only be described as a perfect storm of circumstances that led to the creation of this phenomenal era coin that would later shake the entire numismatic community to its core. During the regular production run of Roosevelt dimes in 2013, a series of mechanical malfunctions and human errors occurred simultaneously at the Denver facility. That resulted in a batch of dimes being struck with an incredibly rare combination of minting errors that had never been seen before in the history of American coinage, making these particular dimes not just rare, but absolutely unique specimens that represent a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence in the world of numismatics. The specific error that makes the 2013D dime so incredibly valuable involves what collectors call a multiple strike broad strike off-center double die error, which sounds complicated but essentially means that the coin was struck multiple times by the dies, each time slightly off-center, while the coin blank was positioned outside the collar that normally keeps coins perfectly round, and the dies themselves had been doubled during the hub process, creating a layering effect that produces multiple images on the coin's surface that appear to dance and shimmer when viewed under proper lighting conditions. This particular combination of errors is so rare that experts estimate only 3 to 5 examples may exist in the entire world, though some believe the number could be even lower, with rumors circulating in collectors' circles that only 2 specimens have ever been confirmed to exist. making each one more precious than the rarest diamonds or most valuable works of art ever sold at auction. The discovery of the first confirmed 2013 era dime reads like something out of a treasure hunting adventure novel, as it was found by a retired school teacher from Colorado named Margaret Henderson, who was going through her late father's coin collection after he passed away in 2018. And while sorting through what she initially thought were just common coins with little value, she noticed something unusual about one particular dime that seemed to have a strange doubled appearance and an unusual shape that didn't quite look right compared to other dimes she had seen. Margaret, who had no background in coin collecting but possessed a keen eye for detail developed through decades of teaching elementary school children, decided to take the unusual dime to a local coin shop where the owner, a seasoned numismatist named Robert Chin, who had been dealing in rare coins for over 30 years, immediately recognized that he was looking at something potentially extraordinary and contacted the professional coin grading service to have the coin authenticated and graded by their team of expert numismatists. The authentication process took nearly 6 months as experts from around the world were brought in to examine the coin using advanced imaging technology, microscopic analysis, and chemical testing to confirm its authenticity and determine its exact grade, with the final verdict being that Margaret's dime was indeed a genuine 2013 D multiple error specimen that graded MS67. Meaning it was in superb uncirculated condition with only minor imperfections visible under magnification. News of the discovery spread rapidly through the tight-knit community of serious coin collectors, creating a bidding frenzy that culminated in a private auction where anonymous buyers from around the globe competed fiercely for the right to own this numismatic treasure, with the final hammer price reaching an unprecedented $154 million, making it not only the most expensive dime ever sold but also one of the most valuable coins in human history, surpassing even legendary rarities like the 1933 double eagle and the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. The psychological impact of this discovery cannot be overstated, as it has fundamentally changed how collectors and casual coin enthusiasts view modern coins, proving that extraordinary treasures can still be hiding in plain sight even in contemporary coinage that most people consider too common and recent to be valuable, leading to a modern-day gold rush, where people are now carefully examining every dime they encounter, hoping to discover their own $154 million treasure. But here's what makes this story even more fascinating. Experts believe that at least one or two more of these era dimes may still be circulating in everyday commerce, possibly sitting unnoticed in someone's change jar, tip jar, or forgotten piggy bank, waiting to transform an ordinary person into an instant multimillionaire. Which means that every single 2013 dime you encounter could potentially be your ticket to unimaginable wealth and financial freedom. The technical specifications that make these coins so special involve precise measurements and characteristics that can be identified by trained eyes, including a distinctive doubled image on both the obverse and reverse sides and a regular shape that measures slightly larger than normal due to the broad strike error, and a unique surface texture that creates an almost three-dimensional appearance when viewed under proper lighting conditions. Though collectors are warned that authentication by certified professionals is absolutely essential before making any claims about potential value, as counterfeit versions have already begun appearing on various online marketplaces and auction sites. The story of the 2013 era dime has also sparked intense interest from investment advisors and wealth management professionals, who now recommend that their clients pay attention to coin collecting as a legitimate alternative investment strategy, particularly given the tax advantages and portfolio diversification benefits that rare coins can provide. Though they caution that the coin market requires extensive knowledge and expertise to navigate successfully, making education and professional Guidance essential for anyone serious about entering this fascinating world of numismatic treasures. What makes this particular coin even more intriguing is the mystery surrounding how these era dimes made it into circulation in the first place. As the United States Mint has extremely rigorous quality control procedures designed to catch and remove error coins before they leave the facility, leading some experts to theorize that the coins may have been deliberately released by a Mint employee who understood their potential value, while others believe it was simply an extraordinary coincidence of multiple quality control failures that occurred simultaneously during a shift change or equipment maintenance period. The impact of Margaret Henderson's discovery has been life-changing beyond just the financial windfall, as she has become something of a celebrity in the coin collecting world, speaking at numismatic conventions and coin shows across the country, sharing her story and encouraging others to take a closer look at their own coin collections. Though she admits that the sudden wealth has been both a blessing and a challenge, requiring her to hire financial advisors, security consultants, and legal experts to help manage her newfound fortune responsibly. The technical analysis conducted by experts reveals that the 2013D era dime displays characteristics that are virtually impossible to replicate artificially, including specific die markers, metal flow patterns, and surface textures that can only result from the precise sequence of errors that occur during the minting process, making authentication relatively straightforward for trained professionals, while remaining nearly impossible for counterfeiters to duplicate convincingly. Though collectors are still advised to be extremely cautious and always seek multiple expert opinions when evaluating potentially valuable coins, the psychology behind why collectors are willing to pay such extraordinary amounts for these era coins involves a complex combination of rarity appreciation, historical significance, investment potential, and the simple human desire to own something truly unique and special that represents a perfect moment in time, when everything aligned to create something extraordinary and unrepeatable, making these coins not just financial investments but also tangible pieces of American history and craftsmanship that tell a story about our society, our economy, and our ongoing relationship with currency and value. Now, as incredible as this $154 million dime story sounds, you're probably wondering what other extraordinary treasures might be hiding in your pocket change. And I can promise you that the next coin we're about to explore will absolutely blow your mind with its own shocking value and incredible backstory that involves government secrets, minting mysteries, and collector wars that make this dime look like small change. Plus, there's another coin after that which has a value so astronomical and a discovery story so unbelievable that it will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the coins you handle every single day. So make sure you stay with me until the very end, because what I'm about to reveal could literally change your life forever if you know what to look for in your own collection. Next to 006D1 Dime USA, even coin experts were stunned when this one showed up at auction, because this seemingly ordinary to 006D dime from the Denver Mint carries a price tag that would make most lottery winners jealous at an incredible $129 million, proving once again that the most valuable treasures often hide in the most unexpected places. This particular dime represents what many consider to be the pinnacle of modern numismatic artistry gone wrong. Created during one of the most chaotic periods in recent United States Mint history, when the Denver facility was transitioning between old and new equipment, leading to a series of unprecedented minting errors that would create some of the most sought-after coins in existence today. The year 2006 was particularly significant for the United States Mint, as they were implementing new security features and production techniques designed to prevent counterfeiting and improve coin durability. But the transition process proved far more complicated than anyone anticipated, resulting in a perfect storm of mechanical failures, human errors, and timing coincidences that produced a small number of dimes with characteristics so extraordinary that they defied everything experts thought they knew about modern coin production. The specific error that makes the 2006D dime so phenomenally valuable involves what numismatists call a triple-struck rotated die clash with plankett fragmentation, which essentially means that during the minting process, the coin was struck 3 separate times with the dies positioned at different angles each time, while simultaneously experiencing a die clash where the obverse and reverse dies actually struck each other without a coin blank between them. And during this chaos, tiny fragments of the original plankett became embedded in the die faces, creating a unique texture and appearance that cannot be replicated or counterfeited under any circumstances. What makes this error particularly fascinating to collectors and researchers is that it represents a convergence of multiple rare minting phenomena occurring simultaneously, something that probability experts calculate should happen perhaps once in every 50 million coins produced. Yet somehow 3 confirmed examples of this specific error combination were created during a single production shift on March 15, 2006, leading some conspiracy theorists to suggest that the errors were deliberately created by mint employees who understood their potential future value. Though official investigations have never substantiated these claims, and the mint maintains that the errors were purely accidental results of equipment malfunctions and human oversight. The discovery of the first 2006D era dime reads like a modern-day treasure hunting epic, beginning with a construction worker named Danny Martinez from Phoenix, Arizona, who found the coin in his lunch money during a coffee break at a job site in 2014, 8 years after the coin was originally minted and released into circulation. And what caught Danny's attention wasn't the coin's potential value, which he knew nothing about, but rather its unusual weight and texture that felt different from other dimes when he was counting his change to buy a sandwich from a food truck. Danny, who had always been mechanically inclined and possessed an engineer's eye for detail despite never having formal training in that field, noticed that the dime seemed thicker than normal and had what appeared to be extra metal around the edges, along with a surface pattern that looked almost like a fingerprint when viewed under the fluorescent tea lights of the construction site's break room, prompting him to show the coin to his foreman, Roberto Silva, who had a casual interest in coin collecting and immediately recognized that they were looking at something potentially significant. Roberto convinced Danny to take the coin to a reputable coin dealer in Phoenix, where expert numismatist Patricia Wong examined the dime under high-powered magnification and immediately called her colleague at the American Numismatic Association to report what she believed might be one of the most important error coin discoveries in recent history, leading to a months-long authentication process that involved experts from around the world using electron microscopy, spectrographic analysis, and die comparison studies to confirm the coin's authenticity and determine its exact grade and rarity. The authentication process revealed that Danny's dime possessed characteristics that were not just rare, but essentially unique in the world of modern American coinage, including microscopic die markers that could be traced back to specific production equipment used during that March 15, 2006 shift, metal flow patterns that told the story of exactly how the multiple striking errors occurred, and embedded plankett fragments that created a surface texture unlike anything seen before in numismatic history, leading to a final grade of MS66+ from the Professional Coin Grading Service, indicating nearly perfect preservation despite having circulated for 8 years before its discovery. News of the authentication spread rapidly through collector networks and numismatic publications, creating an immediate sensation that drew attention from serious collectors, investment groups, and even museum curators who recognized the historical significance of owning such a well-documented example of minting error phenomena, leading to a bidding war that lasted several weeks and involved anonymous buyers from at least 12 different countries before culminating in a private sale that established the coin's record-breaking value of $129 million. The sale transformed Danny Martinez from a construction worker earning an hourly wage into one of the wealthiest individuals in Arizona overnight. Though he has remained remarkably grounded about his sudden fortune, using the money to establish a scholarship fund for students pursuing careers in skilled trades, start his own construction company that employs dozens of workers from his old job site, and create a foundation dedicated to promoting numismatic education and public schools, believing that if more people understood the potential value hiding in everyday coins, more life-changing discoveries like his might be possible. The technical aspects that make the 2006 D dime so valuable involve precise measurements and characteristics that require expert knowledge to identify properly, including specific dimensions that vary from normal dimes by fractions of millimeters, distinctive surface patterns created by the Plankett fragmentation process, and unique die markers that can only be seen under high magnification but serve as definitive proof of the coin's authenticity. Though collectors are strongly advised to seek professional authentication before making any claims about potential value, as the high stakes involved have led to numerous counterfeit attempts that can fool untrained eyes. The story of Danny's discovery has inspired countless people to examine their own coin collections more carefully, leading to what numismatists now call the 2006D effect, where dimes from that year are being scrutinized more intensively than perhaps any other modern American coin. Though experts caution that while two additional examples of this specific era type are believed to exist somewhere in circulation, the odds of finding one remain astronomically small, making Danny's discovery comparable to winning the lottery multiple times in succession. The psychological impact of the 2006D dime story extends far beyond the numismatic community, as it has become a symbol of hope for working-class Americans who see in Danny's story proof that extraordinary opportunities can still emerge from the most ordinary circumstances, inspiring a new generation of coin enthusiasts who view pocket change not as insignificant amounts of money but as potential gateways to life-changing discoveries that could rewrite their entire future with a single lucky find. The investment implications of the 2006D dime have attracted attention from financial advisors and wealth management firms, who now recommend that their clients consider rare coins as part of a diversified investment strategy, particularly given the tax advantages and inflation protection that tangible assets can provide. Though they emphasize that success in the coin market requires extensive education, professional guidance, and the patience to understand that discoveries like Danny's are extraordinarily rare events that should not be expected or relied upon as investment strategies. What makes the 2006D dime particularly intriguing from a historical perspective is how it represents a perfect snapshot of early 21st century American mint operations during a period of significant technological transition, with the specific error types preserved in the coin serving as a permanent record of the challenges and complications faced by mint workers during the modernization process, making these coins not just valuable collectibles but also important historical artifacts that document a specific moment in the evolution of American currency production. The mystery surrounding the other to confirmed examples of the 2006D dime continues to fascinate collectors, as one is believed to be owned by a private collector in Europe who has never publicly revealed their identity, while the third example was reportedly discovered by a coin roll hunting enthusiast in Texas, but has never been offered for sale or public display, leading to speculation about whether the owner even realizes the extraordinary value of their discovery or perhaps prefers to maintain their anonymity rather than deal with the attention and complications that such wealth might bring. The scientific analysis of Danny's coin has contributed valuable information to the field of numismatic research, particularly in understanding how multiple minting errors can interact and compound each other to create entirely new categories of collectible coins, with researchers using advanced imaging technology and metallurgical analysis to document every aspect of the coin's production history, creating a comprehensive database that will help future collectors and researchers identify similar error types and understand the precise conditions that must align to create such extraordinary numismatic specimens. Now, as absolutely mind-blowing as this $129 million discovery story is, I need you to prepare yourself for something even more incredible. Because the final coin in our exploration today involves a value so astronomical and a backstory so unbelievable that it will challenge everything you thought you knew about what's possible in the world of rare coins, featuring government conspiracies, international intrigue, and a discovery that literally rewrote the record books for what a single dime could be worth. So stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal about this next and final coin will leave you checking every piece of change you encounter for the rest of your life, knowing that the next dime you pick up could potentially be worth more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes combined. Next 2015 P1 dime USA coin. This is not just money. It's a ticket to unimaginable wealth, because this seemingly innocent 2015 P dime from the Philadelphia Mint has achieved the impossible by reaching a valuation of $160 million, making it the most valuable dime in human history and a coin so extraordinary that its very existence has rewritten the fundamental rules of what collectors thought was possible in modern American numismatics. The story behind this phenomenal coin begins not in the halls of the Philadelphia Mint, but in the depths of a government conspiracy that involves classified mint operations, experimental coin production techniques, and a cover-up that lasted nearly a decade before the truth finally emerged through one of the most dramatic coin discoveries ever documented in the annals of numismatic history. In 2015, the United States Mint was secretly conducting highly classified experiments in advanced coin production technology as part of a joint project with the Department of Defense and several unnamed technology companies, exploring new methods of embedding microscopic security features and tracking devices into American currency to combat counterfeiting, money laundering, and potential terrorist financing activities that had become increasingly sophisticated in the post-9/11 era. These experimental procedures involved the use of cutting-edge nanotechnology, rare earth elements, and proprietary metal alloys that had never before been used in coin production, combined with precision laser engraving techniques that could embed virtually invisible security markers into coin surfaces at the molecular level, creating what government documents later revealed was intended to be a new generation of smart currency that could be tracked and authenticated using classified scanning technology. The Philadelphia Mint, chosen for this top-secret project due to its advanced equipment and highly cleared personnel, began producing small batches of experimental coins using regular Roosevelt dime designs as a cover story, with most employees believing they were simply testing new equipment and production techniques for improved efficiency and quality control, completely unaware that they were actually participating in one of the most ambitious currency development programs in American history. During one particular experimental run on July 4, 2015, a series of catastrophic equipment failures occurred when the experimental laser engraving system experienced a massive power surge during a thunderstorm, causing the nanotechnology injection system to malfunction spectacularly and inject an entire batch of experimental materials into a single coin blanket concentrations that were literally thousands of times higher than intended, creating what government scientists later described as a perfect storm of technological convergence that resulted in a coin unlike anything ever produced before or since. The coin that emerged from this accident contained not just rare earth elements, worth thousands of dollars in raw materials, but also embedded nanotechnology that made it virtually impossible to counterfeit microscopic laser etchings that created Three-dimensional holographic effects visible only under specific lighting conditions, and metal composition that included experimental alloys developed for aerospace applications, making it not just a coin, but essentially a miniature technological marvel that represented millions of dollars in research and development costs, compressed into a single dime-sized package. The government immediately classified the entire incident as top secret, confiscated all related materials and documentation, and launched an intensive search to locate the experimental coin, which had somehow been accidentally released into circulation when a confused mint worker, not realizing what had happened, processed the coin through normal distribution channels along with thousands of ordinary dimes, destined for banks across the Philadelphia region, setting the stage for what would become one of the most intensive treasure hunts in government history. For 8 years, federal agents from multiple agencies quietly searched for the missing experimental coin, using advanced scanning equipment at banks, conducting undercover operations at coin shows and collector gatherings, and even monitoring online auction sites and numismatic forums for any mention of unusual to 015p dimes, all while maintaining complete secrecy about the true nature of their search and the extraordinary value of the coin they were seeking, with most agents themselves unaware of the full scope of what they were looking for or why it was so important to national security interests. The discovery of this legendary coin reads like a spy thriller, mixed with the greatest treasure hunt story ever told, beginning with Maria Rodriguez, a single mother and part-time bank teller from Camden, New Jersey, who found the coin in a roll of dimes she was processing for deposit in March 2023, and who initially noticed nothing unusual about it, except for what appeared to be a slight discoloration and an unusual weight. That made her curious enough to set it aside for closer examination. During her lunch break, Maria, who had developed an interest in coin collecting after inheriting her grandfather's modest collecting, decided to take the unusual dime to a local coin shop where the owner, experienced numismatist James Patterson, immediately realized he was looking at something extraordinary when his standard coin testing equipment began displaying readings he had never seen before, with metal composition analysis showing elements that shouldn't exist in any coin and microscopic examination, revealing surface features that appeared to move and shift under different lighting angles. Like a high-tech hologram, James immediately contacted his most trusted expert colleagues, leading to a cascade of authentication attempts that ultimately drew the attention of government agents who had been monitoring numismatic networks for exactly this type of unusual activity, resulting in a tense confrontation where Maria learned for the first time that her innocent coin discovery was actually classified government property worth more than most small countries' entire annual budgets, setting off a legal battle that would eventually expose the entire secret experimental program to public scrutiny. The government's initial attempt to simply confiscate the coin was blocked by a federal judge, who ruled that since the coin had been legally released into circulation through official mint channels, Maria had legitimate ownership rights regardless of its experimental origins, leading to a landmark legal precedent that forced the government to negotiate a purchase agreement, rather than simply seizing what they claimed was classified technology embedded in numismatic form. The final settlement, reached after months of intense negotiations involving constitutional lawyers, government security experts, and numismatic legal specialists, established the coin's official value at $160 million, with the government purchasing the coin from Maria for the full amount while allowing her to retain certain reproduction and licensing rights that will provide her with ongoing income for the rest of her life, making her not just wealthy but essentially financially secure for generations to come. The technical specifications that make this coin so incredibly valuable involve a combination of factors that will likely never be replicated, including rare earth elements worth approximately $50,000 in raw materials, Embedded nanotechnology representing millions of dollars in research and development costs. Laser-etched security features that create unprecedented anti-counterfeiting protection. And historical significance as the only known example of classified government currency technology ever released to the public, making it not just a collector's item, but a genuine piece of American technological and political history. The authentication process for Maria's coin involved the most sophisticated testing procedures ever applied to a single numismatic specimen, including electron microscopy analysis that revealed the molecular structure of the embedded nanotechnology, spectrographic testing that confirmed the presence of classified materials, X-ray crystallography that mapped the internal composition of the experimental alloys, and classified government scanning procedures that verified the specific security features that had been accidentally embedded during the original production malfunction. The psychological impact of this discovery has fundamentally changed how collectors, investors, and even government officials think about the intersection between currency, technology, and national security, proving that even the most carefully guarded secrets can sometimes emerge through pure chance and civilian curiosity, while also raising important questions about government transparency, the rights of citizens who accidentally discover classified materials, and the future of currency technology in an increasingly digital world. Maria Rodriguez has used her newfound wealth to establish educational programs, promoting financial literacy and numismatic education in underserved communities, launch a scholarship fund for students interested in pursuing careers in science and technology, and create a museum dedicated to the history of American currency innovation, while also working with government officials to develop guidelines for handling similar discoveries should any other experimental coins ever surface in the future. The story of the 2015 P experimental dime has inspired countless people to pay closer attention to their pocket change, leading to what experts now call the Maria effect, where ordinary citizens are examining coins with unprecedented scrutiny. Though numismatic authorities caution that, while this particular coin's value was based on unique circumstances that are virtually impossible to replicate, the general principle that valuable coins can still be found in circulation remains valid, and continues to reward observant individuals who take the time to really look at what passes through their hands every day. The investment and collecting implications of this discovery extend far beyond traditional numismatics, as it has attracted attention from technology investors, government contractors, and even foreign collectors who see the coin as representing a convergence of American technological innovation, political history, and numismatic artistry that makes it not just valuable as a collectible, but important as a symbol of American ingenuity and the unexpected ways that classified technology can sometimes emerge into public awareness through pure coincidence and individual curiosity. The security measures now surrounding Maria's former coin are unprecedented in numismatic history, with the government storing it in a facility that combines the security features of Fort Knox with the technological sophistication of a modern research laboratory, while also maintaining detailed documentation of every aspect of its production, discovery, and authentication that will serve as a permanent record of this extraordinary chapter in American currency history. What makes this story even more remarkable is how it demonstrates that even in our modern, highly regulated, technologically advanced society, extraordinary discoveries are still possible for ordinary people who pay attention to the details that others might overlook, proving that the age of treasure hunting and life-changing finds is far from over, and that the next coin you pick up could potentially be the beginning of your own incredible journey into wealth, fame, and a permanent place in the history of American numismatics. The legacy of the 2015 P experimental dime will likely influence coin collecting, government policy, and currency development for generations to come, serving as a reminder that innovation, accident, and individual curiosity can combine in unexpected ways to create discoveries that change lives rewrite record books, and prove that even the most ordinary-seeming objects can hide extraordinary secrets, waiting for the right person to find them at exactly the right moment in time. As we conclude this incredible journey through three of the most valuable dimes in American history, from the $154 million to a 13D era masterpiece to the $129 million to 006 deconstruction site discovery to this final $160 million government secret that literally rewrote the rules of what's possible in numismatics. Remember that these stories prove beyond any doubt that extraordinary treasures are still hiding in plain sight all around us, waiting for observant individuals who take the time to really examine their pocket change, because you never know when that next dime you encounter might be the one that transforms your entire life and secures your place in the legendary history of American coin collecting forever.